The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is presented by WynnBET. Bet $50 at WynnBET and get $200 in free bets. Bet big, win bigger with WynnBET. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WynnBET. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. We're also brought to you by IPVanish. IPVanish is the official VPN of SGPN, and they're offering 70% off if you go to ipvanish.com/SGP. That's ipvanish.com/SGP. And make sure to check out our new Discord server, the perfect place to interact and sweat bets with the entire SGPN crew. Just go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford. I am coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast corner of England. Today is Monday, July the 25th, and we are here to preview a full 15-game slate from MLB for Tuesday, July the 26th. It's a three-man operation tonight, and we've got the youth team on the go. Joining us first, Mr. Noah Bennick. Noah, how you doing?
How's it going, Malcolm? Doing all right. Excited to talk about my Tigers game today. Not really to handicap it, but we got some other news going on with that. But, there is 14 other games going on today that we can also talk about and hit some bets on, just like yesterday.
Yeah, we enjoyed your Tigers chat very much, and also expecting a bit of Mets chat from our other co-host this evening, Mr. Dylan Rockford, who's wearing a beautiful new football shirt, Dylan.
Oh, yes, Paris Saint-Germain. I'm surprised Noah didn't know it.
How am I supposed to know it? It's on the other side of the world.
Malcolm's son knew it. He came to the computer and knew it.
He's in the country next to it.
Oh, okay. Who's got an excuse, haven't you?
Yeah. But good to be with you boys. Was on a little of a hot run this weekend. I was like on a 4-0 streak. Came down to earth, but ready to start a new streak tonight.
Yeah, my Sunday night capping let me down. I was flying. I was top of a lot of the leaderboards on Tally site. I was running 60-something% and just fell off a cliff last night and ended up I think 2 games over 500 or something. Not quite good enough. So yeah, that let me down a little bit. But I had a good run of dogs, quite a lot of decent price winners as well. So that kept the ROI up. Like I said, we've got 15 games tomorrow. We've got our usual problems of maybe 4 or 5 TBD pitchers, but we've got 10 or 11 games that we can cap in their entirety. So there'll be something there for everybody. And some good-looking games and some good-looking pitching matchups to look forward to. So we will pile straight into it with the daytime game, which is a 2:20 Eastern first pitch. And that is the Pittsburgh Pirates at the Chicago Cubs. Bryce Wilson is going for the Pirates, and Keegan Thompson, who we handicapped on yesterday's show, is now going on Tuesday for the Chicago Cubs. Just money lines on this one, no total. The usual caveats apply when you're taking a Cubs home game there. So it's Pittsburgh at +138, the Chicago Cubs at -158. And I think, Noah, this is coming straight to you. Is that right?
Yeah, this one's me. Sorry, I got to adjust my mic, I guess, to point it at me. But, you handicapped Keegan Thompson yesterday. I corrected you and handicapped Adrian Sampson. So we got it right for the listeners yesterday. Yeah. Today, Bryce Wilson, he's 2-5 and 9 starts. Only 2 of those were quality starts. He has a 6.52 ERA, 38 strikeouts, 16 walks, and 49.2 innings pitched this year. I'm not a huge fan of Wilson. And going up against him is probably the Cubs' best pitcher this year in Keegan Thompson. He's 7-4 this year, 3.25 ERA, 75 strikeouts, 29 walks in 81.1 innings pitched. He has a home ERA of 2.99 in Wrigley Field, where this team has been extremely bad. One of the worst teams in the MLB. A 2.99 home ERA is going to keep them in this ball game. The Cubs seem to be playing really good ball right now too. They just swept the Phillies over the weekend. I'd rather back them here than the Pirates with Wilson on the mound. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, and it was quite an ugly one to handicap, really. I have been following the Pirates. I've been doing okay on the Pirates. But like you say, the Cubs just seem to have livened up a little bit since we got back from the All-Star break. And that was a surprise sweep they got at the weekend against a stuttering Phillies team. There's kind of conflicting trends on this one because both teams have got good records against the spread. The Cubs 5-0 against the spread in their last 5 games, but Pittsburgh are 8-2 in their last 10 road games. So it was a tricky one. I've written tentatively when I handicapped this about 5 hours ago. I wrote down over, but with a big question mark because we've got no lines and we don't know what the weather's doing. So I really struggle. Yeah, I wasn't good enough to come to a definite conclusion. So it's the rarely seen no bet for me. Dylan, did you manage to put a line on this game at all? A number?
Yeah, no official play, a little chalky, but give me the Cubs at mine. I got it at -155. I made the Cubs a -190 favorite with Thompson on the mound. Yeah, no run lines and totals up, but I looked at the weather. Should be a nice day at Wrigley. You do have 9-mile-an-hour winds blowing in, so I don't know about the over. We'll see what it opens up at, but I just can't get behind the Pirates or Wilson, who hasn't been able to win one game on the road this season. The Cubs, very surprising, they did just sweep the Phillies coming out of the All-Star break. So this might be a bad spot for the Pirates to come and have to face potentially a hot Cub team. So give me the Cubs here at home. I think they get that done.
Yeah, I've very much been enjoying the work of O'Neill Cruz. He smashed a home run way to the back. It was like the back row of the bleachers that landed. I can't remember what park they were in, actually.
It was in Pittsburgh. Almost went into the Allegheny there.
Yeah. If he hits it, it very much stays hit. So looks like a fun player to watch for the rest of the season. But yeah, that was one of the trickier games on the card. So let's move on and see if we can find something with an angle in. A 6:40 Eastern first pitch is the Miami Marlins at the Cincinnati Reds. Pablo Lopez goes for Miami and Hunter Green goes for the Cincinnati Reds. Miami are -119. Cincinnati are even money, +100. Total here is set at 8.5. Pablo Lopez is 6-5. He has a 3.14 ERA. He's pitched 109 1/3 with 107 strikeouts. Hunter Green is 3-11 with a 5.78 ERA. He's pitched 90 1/3 innings with 113 punches. Lopez, obviously highly rated, and people know what he's capable of. He's struggled a bit lately. 4.78 ERA in his last 5 games, mainly due to 2 5-run efforts he's given up. I do prefer to view them as an outlier, though. I do trust Lopez to get back on track here. He's got a 3.26 road ERA, so I've got no issue with him there. And 2.63 against the NL Central opposition as well. Hunter Green, up and down like a bride's night, all season I've been on him. 7.11 ERA in his last 5. But his decent starts now are they're becoming as rare as hen's teeth, unfortunately. I think the total here was too low. The only thing that got me is the trends here are all pointing unders. My gut feeling, my handicap was to take this as an over. But Miami and Cincinnati have both been going under. Oh, sorry, when they play each other, 8 of the last 9 games have gone under Miami, Cincinnati. So, yeah, that was the one thing that put me off. But it is only a trend, and something's got to stop at some point. So I took it at 8 earlier on, -110. It has moved to 8.5, so maybe I was on the right track. But yeah, that's what I thought for this one. Quite a tricky one, but Lopez slightly struggling. Hunter Green just giving up some runs. So yeah, the over for me. Dylan, what was your number and what did you think?
Yeah, so I made my total 8.8. I do like the over. And if you look at Cincinnati's last 5 games, it's gone over this number in every one. They are at home. They're 50-42 towards the over. So Great American Ballpark, the ball tends to fly, but it's Pablo Lopez day. Give me the fish here. His last 2 starts on the road have been great. One against my Mets and the other against the Nationals. But I can't back Hunter Green. I've been fading him a lot this season. It's been profitable for me. So the Reds, they are playing decent ball. I think we'll see. I think both pitchers will give up a few runs, but I think Pablo Lopez, he'll bounce back like you said. I just trust him a little more. So give me the fish here, -115 on the money line.
Miami in it over there for Dylan. Noah?
As a third person with analysis, I'm not going to repeat anything that they said, although I agree with most of it. I just think this price is too low with Miami, with Pablo Lopez on the mound. He's struggled as of late, and I think that's why the price is a little low. I'm going to take the discount.
Yeah, it makes sense, mate. Totally agree with you. 7:05 Eastern first pitch is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Baltimore Orioles. Shane McClanahan, left-handed pitcher for the Rays, and Spencer Watkins goes for Baltimore. The Tampa Bay Rays are -177. Baltimore are +152. Totally are set at 8. Dylan, you can lead us off with Shane McClanahan.
Yeah, give me the Rays here on the run line at even money. I was able to get it. I know the Orioles have been playing good ball at home, but I just feel like the Rays are a better team. They did have a tough series in Kansas City, but they had a few bad breaks. I think with their ace McClanahan on the mound, he'll be able to limit this Oriole team. In his last 3 starts on the road, he's been able to give the team 19 innings and only give up 1 run in each of those 3 starts. So he's been locked in on the road. I trust them, and I think at even money, I think that's a good price. So I think the Rays win comfortably here.
Noah, what did you make of this game?
Well, so I'm going to go with this angle. Shane McClanahan, take his strikeout prop. He's one of the best strikeout pitchers in the game right now. And Baltimore, they have one of the worst strikeout rates in the game right now. And also against left-handers, they have a 690 OPS, which puts them in 8th worst in the MLB. So I kind of like this matchup for McClanahan. Just taking it blind right now. We'll see what the odds come out tomorrow.
Okay, like that. Noah's been flying with his strikeout props of late, if you weren't aware, people. I came down on completely the other side of you, Dylan, here. This was just a value play for me. I think we've got a low total of 8, and we've got a pitcher like Shane McClanahan who's going to keep this down. But I thought Spencer Watkins can keep Baltimore competitive. The low total tells you that the books expect this to be relatively competitive. So at -177, there's no way I wanted to take that price. I feel like I've taken Baltimore a lot lately. But they're at home. They're actually 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 games against the Tampa Bay Rays, which is a surprising stat, but a good one. So if Watkins can keep them competitive, a bit similar to how they played against the Yankees, like them, even if they stayed within 2 or 3 runs, they came back and got over the line. And if you get a decent price, one of these games in the series, they're going to pick up 1 or 2. Say we got them at +205 to beat Gerrit Cole and the Yankees the other night. So I'm going to follow that trend that's been relatively kind to me, and I'll take Baltimore Orioles on the money line at +152. Next up, we have the Atlanta Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies, which is a 7:05 Eastern first pitch. Spencer Strider is on the hill for Atlanta. The Phillies pitcher will be Aaron Nola. And it's a home puppy for the Phillies, +115. The Atlanta Braves are -133. Total here set at 8. Over to you, Noah.
This is one of the better pitching matchups of the day, like you mentioned. Spencer Strider, 4-3 with a 3.27 ERA, 114 strikeouts, 30 walks, and 74.1 innings pitched. He's coming off of one of his worst starts of the year. In his last start just before the All-Star break, he gave up 5 earned in 4 innings with only 4 Ks. Strider's looking to bounce back. And as for Aaron Nola, he's 6-7 on the year with 126.2 innings pitched, 137 strikeouts, 16 walks with a 3.13 ERA. Aaron Nola is my second half sleeper to be the NL Cy Young. He's coming off a 10-punchy game right before the All-Star break, and I like the under 8 here. I slightly lean Phillies to win this game with the plus price as well.
Okay, well, I'll jump in there then because I leaned Phillies as well. I actually saw a +135. There's about 4 prices I wrote down because I think people are aware that I'll tend to handicap these games 5 or 6 hours before you boys, which is just a time difference thing. And there's a lot of these lines have shifted away from the early prices that I saw. I saw Philly at +135 earlier on. That's now shortened up to +115. Yeah, I was expecting a little bit of regression from Strider in the second half. He is okay, but I expect to see him slide backwards a little bit. I'm not really into Philly at the minute. However, if they're going to win the odd game, and if they're going to do it, then I think behind Nola gives them a good chance. They are 500, playing 500 ball at home, so you're getting a plus money price there. So yeah, Philly, little bit more value at plus 115 or bigger if you can find it for me, Dylan.
Yeah, it's going to be a team ride here. It's my dog of the day.
Ooh.
Give me the home puppy. I actually made the Phillies a minus 110 favorite. So I know Nola hasn't been the best at home, but against the Braves this year, he's 2-0 with a 2.93 ERA. He's only given up 5 runs, and batters are only hitting 207 off him. So while Spencer Strider, he just got lit up against the Nationals, I think, like you, Malcolm, he's going to regress a little bit. I know the Phillies just got swept by the Cubs, but coming back home now, I think this is a good bounce back spot for him. So give me the home puppy here.
Okay, so it's the team ride on the Phillies. 7:07 Eastern. First pitch is the St. Louis Cardinals at the Toronto Blue Jays. Andre Palante goes for St. Louis, and Jose Barrios is on the bump for Toronto. St. Louis are plus 178. Toronto are a prohibitive minus 209. Totally are set at 8.5. Palante is 3-4, 3.34 ERA. Has pitched 70 innings with 47 strikeouts. Barrios is 7-4 with a 5.22 ERA. Has pitched 101 2/3 with 93 Ks. Palante is struggling. Got away with some stuff early on when he first arrived, but he's on the side a little bit since, giving up 13 earned in his last 14 innings pitched. St. Louis are also, I think we'll probably discuss this a little bit more in a moment, missing the COVID players. Toronto are off getting a competitive advantage by the amount of players that teams are missing. Who missed what team was missing about 10 players last series?
The Royals.
That was it. Yeah, millions of them. And I know the Yankees had a couple out, but so if I'm not mistaken, I know it's Goldschmidt and Arenado.
Goldschmidt, Arenado, and then a bench player.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a massive chunk taken out of the St. Louis lineup. So, yeah, the books have reacted to it. You can see in the price of minus 209 for Toronto. Barrios hasn't been great either, but he has been better at home. He's 3-0 at home with a 3.33 ERA. And in fact, his last 4 starts have all been pretty good. It's going to be a popular play. It's going to be a boring play. But that combination of Barrios' home form and St. Louis's missing players, I'm going to take Toronto on the run line. I saw this at plus 125, but I'm not sure how long that price will. Yeah, I don't think that price will be around for long. That was earlier on. There's no price up there at the minute. I mean, if they're minus 209, boys, what price would you generally make a run line? About minus 105, maybe?
I made the Blue Jays a minus 220 favorite, and the minus 1.5 I made it minus 120. So I was willing to lay up. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So and if you got, would that be your bet on this game, Dylan?
Yeah. So this is pretty straightforward. Blue Jays minus 1.5. I'm actually, like you, Malcolm, I'm surprised we're getting plus money here with their 2 best players out for this road trip. Just a bonus for this red hot Blue Jay team. They're 8-2 in their last 10, and they've covered the run line 7 of those 10 games. They're rolling, and now having the Jose Rios, who since July 1st hasn't lost 4 since the beginning of July. I think things are turning around for him. So Blue Jays minus 1.5. I was able to get a plus 105. If you could get plus 125, that's even better.
And Noah, finally on this one.
I kind of have a different mentality or a thought process than you two guys on this. Did it with the Royals as well. There was 3 games. They were being offered at plus 300 prices all 3 games. If you split up a unit and you are willing to put a third of the unit on those games, which I did, and the Royals won 2 of those 3 games. We came out crazy profit in that series. I'm willing to do the same thing here. Split up a unit. I think this is mandatory. If the Cardinals can steal one of these games, you're coming out profit. You're coming out plus money. Putting a half unit on both games. I think the game they probably win tomorrow is with Wainwright on the mound going up against Gausman. I think they might be able to have a better chance to steal that one, just because Palante hasn't been going as well lately. But a half unit plus 200 price, you're going to make a profit if you do that, and they steal one of these 2 games here coming up. Okay,
so Noah's given us mandatory big dog plays here. Beautiful. Next up is a 7:10 Eastern first pitch, probably the game of the night. It is the New York Yankees at the New York Mets. And it is Jordan Montgomery, left-handed pitcher, going for the New York Yankees. And Taiwan Walker will take the ball for the New York Mets. The Yankees are minus 106. The Mets are minus 111, so not much between them there. Total here is set at 8. Dylan, your New York Mets Subway Series, exciting. And I think you might be going on Wednesday, are you, to see Jacob deGrom?
Yes, sir. I'll be in attendance in Flushing, Queens to see Jacob deGrom come back over a year. So the place should be loud, should be packed. But for this game, I'm actually surprised. I'm not going to lie. The Mets are a favorite here. So I'll take a shot with them. It wasn't a terrible series they just had against the Padres. I know they lost 2 of 3. They were able to get batters on. They kept leaving runners on base. But it all changed last night with the big game from Polar Bear. I want to credit Munaf too for jinxing us for this. Because as soon as he opened his mouth, the Mets broke out for 7 runs. So I thank you, Munaf, for that. I do think the Mets have the pitching advantage, though, with Walker on the mound. You just can't trust Montgomery. We talked about it before the All-Star break. He just doesn't look the same. Listening to ESPN New York radio, the New York Yankee fans hate Montgomery. They don't even like him as the 4th or 5th starter. So his record's only 3-2 with a 3.24 ERA. He's been giving up a lot of hits, and the team has lost four straight starts that he's pitch. So the Mets need this one. I'm going to go with the home team. Give me the Mets here. I was able to get it at minus 110. So give me the Mets.
Okay, so it's an unsurprising pick for Dylan. Goes with the New York Mets. Noah, what are you telling us?
My roommate was a Yankees fan. I'm just saying, Monty's hot and cold. This is his cold period. Yep. When the Yankees, their fans start voicing their opinions, that's actually when their players play the best. So give me Monty in the plus price. And the biggest tell for me is lately I've been looking at the run lines. And when the Yankees, especially the Yankees, they're a dog on the price, but they're not going to offer them the plus 1.5. They are a minus 1.5. I think that's the books telling us they want to attract people onto the minus 1.5 because they don't quite think that the Mets are going to win by 2. I think this is just like I'm thinking outside of my head. Don't know how to explain it. But when they're a dog, it doesn't make sense when they're minus 1.5. I'm just saying that. So I'm taking the Yankees to win.
Okay, then. So I get the deciding vote here, and I'm going to tip this in the favor of the New York Mets. I'll take the minus 111. He's a Mets fan
too.
He's not a Mets fan. I have no dog in this fight whatsoever. I've got 10-1 tickets.
At the beginning of the season, say if I have to say one team that I'm a fan of,
but I don't have to say.
Why do the Mets appear at the top of the page and you forget about their game every week?
Because you have to click a button to get on the Piggin website, don't you? Shut up. I've got 10-1 tickets on the Yankees. Listen,
you do.
This is a thoroughly impartial handicap here. I'm a very professional man. I trust Walker ever so slightly more than Montgomery. That was it. No more so than that. There's not too much between the lineups. Probably on the day, the Yankees are a little bit more explosive, but they haven't been that hot lately. And that was it. It was a very slightly towards the New York Mets. A little bit of home advantage as well. And I think Dylan's shouting and hollering and singing can get the New York Mets over the line.
Yeah, Noah, real quick. Not Noah. I keep saying Noah now. Taijuan Walker is Malcolm. Yeah, I know. Taijuan Walker, what do you think about his strikeout prop? Because he has been striking out a lot of batters.
So I do see that, but the Yankees are not one of the teams that I target. They're not one of the bottom half or bottom third of the teams in strikeout rate. And actually a good nugget is the Yankees. They actually have the best walk rate in the MLB, almost walking 4 times a game. So when I'm looking at Yankees games, I'm looking at the opposing pitcher to see if they walk a ton of batters. Whereas Taijuan Walker, he doesn't strike me as one of those. So I think it could be a good 5-6 strikeout outing and maybe a walk in it. So that's where I would be in this game.
Just wanted to get ahead.
No, you're good.
If you have got a pitcher that walks a few batters against the Yankees, then stolen base props are very much live. I think they're second in the league in stolen bases, surprisingly, because they haven't. Is it third now? Is it? So they haven't historically ran an awful lot. But if you get a pitcher that's going to walk them and put them on base, then a couple of sneaky pizza bets on some stolen bases might just make you a few quid. The players to find all our Lines is the Win Bet, the title sponsor here, where they bet $50 to win $200 promotion. Is very much live and kicking. A $50 bet will qualify you for up to $200 in free bets, and the Win Bet are running their reduced juice in baseball games as well. So it's by far the best place to bet. MLB, the fantasy football experience, contest rules along as well until July the 31st. If you bet $500 or more, you'll be entered to win the ultimate fantasy football draft experience at Encore Beach Club, which includes that 2-night stay at Wynn Resorts for you and your entire league. Loads to choose from. Just head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/winbet. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/WYNNBET to claim your free bets today. Offer subject to change. T's and C's at winbet.com. Must be 21 or older and present in the state where playthrough WinBet is available. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. And I will remind you here to get in on the Discord server. Everybody's in there, all the cool kids. The chat's really good, and there's winners to be had as well. The place to go to is sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. Next is a 7:10 Eastern first pitch between the Cleveland Guardians and the Boston Red Sox. We've got a little run here of, I think we might get 5 games on the spin, actually, with no odds or lines. I said at the top of the show that we were missing a few. It just so happens they're all congregated in the middle of the slate here. I've got no picture at all for Cleveland. I don't know if you boys can help me out, but and Josh Winkowski going for Boston. But that's it. So no lines, no nothing else. Do either of you two boys have anything to add to that one?
So I just refreshed the page that I'm looking at, and I got Shaw going for the Guardians.
Yeah, I'm looking at my respective pages too.
And does that mean anything to you, Dylan? Because it doesn't mean an awful lot to me.
It doesn't mean anything to me either, but it's kind of hard. But can you back the Red Sox right now?
No,
I can't.
God, no.
So they're another stay away team for me right now. I can't back them, even though they're home. And yeah, I just can't back them.
I've got nothing on the Guardians right now either. So Shaw's our best bet.
I want to see how the Red Sox go tonight. I think that's an interesting game tonight. It's Zach Plesac against Nick Pivetta.
It is.
And I did lean Boston.
Me too.
But you've got to see. I want to see it. When we know that score, I'll be more inclined to handicap that game tomorrow. But if they carry on being a tire fire, then certainly won't be taking them at any price. So nothing to report on that one, folks.
I'll give you a round of applause for that one. I love that phrase, a tire fire.
A tire fire.
I play MLB The Show, and my team name was the Tijuana Tire Fire.
Nice.
I loved it. So
it's one of my very few Simpson references. They had a tire fire, didn't they?
I didn't even know that was from The Simpsons.
I think there was just always I think it was called the Springfield Tire Fire. It was just a part of town where there was a.
Gotcha. Nobody assassinate me for not watching The Simpsons, but I don't.
That's crazy.
It's been a generation since I watched it, but I remember bits and bobs from it, and I do remember that bit. 7:10 Eastern first pitch, San Diego Padres at the Detroit Tigers. Mike Clevenger is going for the San Diego Padres. The Detroit Tigers might well be wheeling Nola out on the mound at this rate, but we've got no picture as it stands. I've got no lines, but I know Noah did want to say things. In fact, Hill, is this correct? Noah, you tell us. Tell us about the Detroit Tigers and the pictures.
Yeah, this might be my biggest lock of the night, and it's just the personal lock. It's not going to be globalized to everybody in the graphic. And it's because, of course, it's going to happen. July 26, 2022 is going to be Fire Al Avila Day, held by fans of the Detroit Tigers. Started on Twitter by a man named Sam Tomasi. I don't know much about him, but it's blown up. It's got 1,000 likes and some retweets on it as well. They're bringing signs. They're starting chants, Fire Al Avila and stuff. This rebuild is going on for 7 years now. They're 20 games under 500 in the middle of July. And I agree. We need to get rid of Avila before the trade deadline because he has gotten fleeced over the last 7 years in the deadline in 95% of his trades. He's made trades that sent away stars like Justin Upton, JD Martinez, Justin Verlander, Nicholas Castellanos, and the players in return have not lived up to expectation at all. Even including some of the minor players that we traded away. The only two consistent MLB players that we have had in return, Jeimer Candelario, who has the third worst WRC plus difference from 2021 to 2022, and Alex Lang, who's been one of our more reliable relievers this year, but this is his first consistent year in the MLB. Jake Rogers, he was the best defensive catcher in the minor leagues. He can't hit right now. Daz Cameron can't stay in the major leagues. Elvin Rodriguez gets bombed in every MLB appearance. Dawel Lugo sucked. And Grayson Long, Sergio Alcantara, Jose King, Franklin Perez, Paul Rashawn, they were all required for these stars since 2017 and have not made an MLB appearance. Avila cannot operate during the 2022 trade deadline, period. But for this game, Mike Clevenger.
Lock the Tigers up.
Lock the Tigers because they're, of course, going to win this game. Mike Clevenger, he's 2-3 on the year with a 3.58 ERA, 48 strikeouts, 15 walks, and 46.1 innings pitched. Against the Tigers in his career, Clev is 8-2 with a 1.65 ERA.
Oh, man.
Garrett Hill is going on the mound for the Detroit Tigers. He is an 8.10 ERA in his last two MLB starts. All the signs point to San Diego, which is why I have to lock the Detroit Tigers.
Okay, excellent rant, Noah. Very much enjoyed that. I'm a huge exponent of the fan rant. I was telling you boys off air that we had a funeral for Newcastle United a few years ago because the bloke in charge had just killed the club. So all the supporters met in town, and we carried a coffin all the way through town, all the way up to the stadium, and then just got drunk and smashed the place up. It was a fun afternoon. So this was really hard to handicap because the San Diego are all unders lately. Their trends, Detroit's trends are all over. So there was nothing to split them there. I mean, San Diego run line is a boring pick, but that's about it really. I wouldn't have any conviction in anything on this one. Dylan, what did you make of this?
I had no idea Hill was starting until 5 seconds ago. So, okay. Honestly, I love the rant so much. Noah convinced me. I'm taking the Tigers with him.
Let's go. I'm looking for this fact right now. It was tweeted out by a guy that I follow. He's like a huge Detroit Tigers fan, Chris Castellani, famous for rants like those on Twitter. He tweeted out something like the Detroit Tigers have scored 2 or less runs in like 45 games this season, which is the second most in the MLB. And that is screaming under. I don't know how a book can fix a total to be under when both teams scored 2 and 3 runs a game right now in the last week. So I like the under.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up is another. We've only got one pitcher in this game as well. 8:10 Eastern, the LA Angels at the Kansas City Royals. The pitcher we do have is for the Angels, and it's the lefty Jose Suarez. Nobody for me for Kansas City. Ergo, we have no lines on it at all. Suarez, again, just a head scratching thing to handicap this was. He's 5.24 in his last 5. He's not made it out to the third inning. The last twice in which he's given up 4 and 6 earned runs. So not expecting much out of him. The spot I'd be dying to take the Kansas City Royals. Probably blind, in fact. I don't really care which one of their starters they roll out here. But you can't have anything to do with the Angels. You can't have anything to do with Suarez. So maybe if you get one of the Kansas City weaker pitchers, it might be a relatively decent price. But that's all I could offer up on this game. Not known at the moment. Noah, did you see a picture for Kansas City, or can you talk us into the Angels just like you talked us into the Tigers? You want to roll?
No, not really. I don't have one on the Royals, but whoever does pitch, there's a good chance that you can entertain them as a K prop because the Angels are nearing 10 strikeouts a game. Jeez. A game, which is ridiculous. It's so bad. They have stars galore on this team. I want them to be so good, but they're just not.
Dylan, absolutely, yeah, spot on. Dylan, anything more to add on this mess?
I can't back the Angels. You couldn't pay me.
Hard.
It's hard. But I do see a pitcher for Kansas City, Angel Zerpa.
Whoa,
I definitely
you've made that up.
He started his first major league game July 11th. He's 2-0. He's 2-0, 1.29 ERA. He beat the Toronto Blue Jays. He's actually pretty good.
Oh, so he came up during the COVID strike.
Yes. So
of course, yeah.
Hey, if I get a short price with
I gotta tell
him,
he won me some cash.
Yeah, give me the Royals.
How about we spelling Zerpa, Dylan?
Zerpa, yeah.
Zerpa. Okay, just so I know. Oh, there he is.
Fine, Dylan.
Angel Zerpa, yeah, fair enough. Has pitched 7 innings.
So what do you project their price? Did you say?
No, so I just saw it. You got to think with his success, I think the books open up the Royals as a short favorite.
But you can't make the Royals a short favorite, can you? Because they're the Royals.
I mean, the Angels
anything minus 120 or
okay,
better,
right. We're having
minus 120.
We're having a game of guess the price here. Then,
okay, yeah, let's do this.
Guess the price. I'm going to write this down. Dylan Rockford, what price will the Kansas City Royals open?
Minus 110.
You said they'd be short. It's not short.
How? What's short to you? Minus 105?
No, short's the other way. Minus 200 short. Minus 110 is big. Favorite. Yeah, you've misunderstood the term short.
Yeah.
It hasn't come across the ocean and translated. Okay then. Noah, what are you telling me?
Plus 115.
Oh, really?
I would love that. That would be the dog.
No way. Making the Angels and Jose Suarez.
No. I would be making the Royals plus 115.
That's what I'm saying. So you're making Suarez and the Angels are minus odds favorite.
Yeah.
He's a madman. Dylan, ignore him. Okay.
Zerpa's a young kid. He's got to prove it.
I'm going to take minus 125 then on the Kansas City Royals.
That might be too high for my liking. But
okay, well, I'll think
minus 125 is going to scare me away.
I'll think of some podcast forfeit in the meantime when we see what those lines are.
Malcolm, the lines are probably going to come out when you're sleeping.
You went completely opposite of Dylan on one of these pick graphics, and Dylan went 2-0, but no punishment for the host.
Mate, it's a game of opinions, isn't it? This is it's just if you're as wildly wrong as you. You crack on with your.
It's turning into a monarchy because we're based out of England.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna sit in my big gold chair tomorrow with my crown on and just.
King of the castle. You know
exercise decrees across my land here. Right, next. Enough of this silliness. 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Yeah, mood up where. Dad. Someone go get Dad. The kids it's got a bit Lord of the Flies the last 5 minutes. The Minnesota Twins and the Milwaukee Brewers. Dylan Bundy goes for the Minnesota Twins. It's because we've got no pictures. We've got no actual handicapping to do. The Milwaukee Brewers haven't given us a picture either, or I can't see one. So again, no lines for this one. Dylan, Twins at the Brewers. What did you fetch out for us?
No picture. I can't find anyone. I'm looking again, refreshing my page. Yes, no pitcher for the Brewers. I gotta imagine the Twins are gonna open up as a favorite with Dylan Bundy on the mound. I mean, they did just take they just took the little 2 series from the Tigers. Oh, but the Milwaukee, they did just sweep the Rockies. I don't know. I like the Brewers. I like the Brewers. I like the Twins here. I think they'll open up as a favorite. Anything over a minus 140, though, I think it's a little too pricey. So if we could get it under minus 130, minus 125, I think I'd be on the Twins.
Yeah, fair enough. Didn't have much for me at all to add to this. Noah, anything?
Yeah, Vikings, Packers, the quarterback, you can't bet on Kirk Cousins, but Aaron Rodgers, he's one of the best in the game. Not many wide receivers, so it's going to be tough to get behind them too. So honestly, just give me the over. It's like you love to see all these touchdowns scored. We don't know who's going to be pitching. Bundy, bad on the road. He might give up a touchdown. Who knows? I think the over is good.
It's possible Noah's had a stroke, everybody, but we'll sort that out in a little while. Next up is the 9:40 Eastern first pitch between the Houston Astros and the Oakland Athletics. Right, okay. I've got Christian Javier going here for Houston, and Frankie Montes is going for the Oakland Athletics. No lines, but maybe Dylan, do you have any lines on this game before I get into the pitching matchup?
So I actually have Luis Garcia going.
Oh my God.
I have Luis Garcia, but I do have Frankie Montes.
Frankie Montes is being declared by Oakland.
This is his day.
And Noah, who was your Houston pitcher then?
I did not have a Houston pitcher. That was the one team that I didn't have coming into this matchup. But what I will say is Montes this is his last. No, he's going to have one more tryout the day before the deadline. But this stretch is huge for Frankie to try to land and do a good spot here for the playoff stretch.
Montes' numbers have been great, but he shoulder injury on the 3rd of July. He came back and pitched 3 innings just on the 21st last time out. So rusty question mark is what I've written down here. Obviously, without a Houston pitcher, I don't want to go into the numbers there. We've got conflicting reports. But in general, these two teams, they've gone under in the last 5 meetings between the two sides. Oakland have gone under in their last 14 of 19. So those trends, regardless of the pitcher, you might be looking to take it under here, which is kind of counterintuitive because you expect the Astros to score some runs. Alvarez has gone day to day again with that hand. Just as we were talking, Noah, a couple of nights ago about our pick to get for MVP and the most home runs, he came back, looked like he had a little rest, and then he's still experiencing a little bit of discomfort. So I think they're just going to manage his workload, which isn't ideal for us.
And to make matters worse, Judge hit 4 home runs over the weekend. So
he did.
Do you think he breaks the home run record this year?
No.
Fair enough. I agree with Noah. Looking at the under just on those stats, but without a definitive pitcher, I can't give you anything on this side. Dylan, do you have anything on this Astros Athletics game?
No, not really. I can't back the Athletics. Astros are the best team in baseball, so don't want to get in front of that freight train right now. So I'd probably back the Astros. Yeah,
that's fair enough. That was a little run of games there, 5 or 6 games where we couldn't give you much to handicap, unfortunately. We've got 3 games left, and we can handicap all 3 of these in their entirety. So bear with us. I'll briefly tell you about IP Vanish, the official VPN of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. IP Vanish will keep everything you do online truly private by encrypting 100% of your data. So your passwords, communications, browsing history, physical location even will be hidden. IP Vanish can be used on unlimited devices, including your Fire Stick, and offering 70% off the early plan for our listeners with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Dead easy to use. One click of a button and you are covered. So go to ipvanish.com/SGP and use the promo code SGP to claim your 70% savings at ipvanish.com/SGP. Okay, let's get these last 3 games and then give out some solid winners. 9:40 Eastern first pitch is the San Francisco Giants and the Arizona Diamondbacks. Carlos Rodon, left-handed pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, and I'm going to get the right Gilbert. Tyler Gilbert, left-handed pitcher, goes for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Home puppy, Arizona, plus 117. The Giants are minus 136. Totally a set at 8. Straight across to you, Dylan. Giants at the D-backs.
Yeah, so I handicapped this as Merrill Kelly was going, but right before we went live, they made the switch to Gilbert. But still like the Giants here. Oh, they jumped all the way up to a minus 165. I got it at a minus 130. Yeah, so I'd have to adjust it a little bit.
Well, I'm still seeing minus 136, Dylan. I've just refreshed that, so it's still around.
Perfect. Yeah, so I would jump on that as soon as you guys can, because a part of me did want to take the Snakes at home. They're like Baltimore. They're very competitive at home, but I just couldn't. I know the Giants just got swept by the Dodgers, but I think against the D-backs, they get it together. So I think the Giants, their bats will break out, and I know I was going to say all my notes are for Kelly. So yeah, just give me the Giants here at the short price.
Luckily for you, Dylan, I handicapped Gilbert last night for the show because that's just how we roll here. So why I had on him was a relatively small sample. He's pitched 30 in 1/3 innings. He has got a 5.34 ERA, but he's been okay at home. Only 12 innings pitched at home, but he's just given up 2 earned runs in those 12 innings. So if that's an indication, that gives Arizona a live chance there. San Francisco are 20-5 straight up against Arizona in the last 25 meetings. So a big lean towards the Giants there. So with that stat and with Rodon on the mound, and if that 136 minus 136 is still a live price, that was good enough for me to take the Giants. Noah?
Yeah. So my other roommate is a huge Giants fan. Now, he's not happy with the club, and I don't think many of the fans are either. They are in the Juan Soto sweepstakes, but they could lose Rodon here. He has a player option coming up in the next offseason. If they don't turn this thing up, he could be on the move. And I think this is another one of those games where Rodon has to know that clause is in his contract because it was based on innings pitched. It was a safety valve for the Giants in case Rodon got injured. He's been relatively injury-free this season. I think this is another one of those spots. It's interesting around trade deadline. Some of these players are going to play up. And I think that Rodon can because there is that slight chance that he could get moved this year at the deadline.
Okay, I like that. Next up.
Dylan, you don't get everybody. Stop waving your hand over
Come
there.
on over to Flush.
Cohen is new money. He doesn't get everybody. No way.
Trust me. They want to come to New York. You want to win a ring?
That rotation is already there. You don't need.
We need a 4th. We need a 5th. Come on over.
A 4th and a 5th. You have DeGrom, Scherzer, Carrasco, Bassett. That's 4 right there.
We need a 5th. We need bullpen pieces. We
Taijuan
need it all.
Walker.
We
5.
need it all. They'll go to the bullpen.
You don't use 4 starters in the playoffs.
They'll all go to the bullpen. Trust me.
You have 3 elite starters in the bullpen.
Yep, and then bring Diaz. And then bring Diaz in.
Doesn't make any sense. You guys hated Diaz 2 years ago.
And then he found something. He found an extra wind. It was the first. Malcolm, let's move on.
Yeah, boys finished. I'm going to have to separate you, make you sit at separate desks.
He's just waving over his hand, acting like he gets priority at everybody that's on the market.
He was arrogant, wasn't it? No, that's what it was. Right. No, I'm going to ask you a question here. The 10-10 Eastern first pitch between the Washington Nationals and the LA Dodgers. In the general scheme of this podcast and this slate of games, is there anything that stands out to you about this game? Anything you want to tell us about this game and its position on the slate?
I think you skipped the game. That's what I'll say. I think you skipped the Chicago White Sox and the Colorado Rockies.
Ah, bollocks. I did as well. Okay. Well, that's completely buggered up me trying to get you to use penultimate in a sentence, which is where I was leading with that. Because we've actually got 3 games left, so I'm completely and utterly. That's backfired.
It did.
Shit. 8:40 Eastern first pitch is the Chicago White Sox and the Colorado Rockies. Michael Kopech goes for the Chicago White Sox, and Herman Marquez goes for the Rockies. This was another one where there was no lines. I think Herman Marquez was just recently confirmed, so I've got no lines for this one, unfortunately. But Dylan, how did you handicap this one? And then we'll let Noah. If you price it up, we'll let Noah break it down.
Yeah, so I priced it as White Sox minus 115, minus 1.5 for them, plus 140. Same thing on the Rockies, plus 115, plus 1.5 is minus 140. Made my total 11 because I do think we got winds blowing out. So I would lean over depending on what the line comes out at, and I do like the White Sox here. I think they're catching a little win and just can't back the Rockies right now. They just got swept, so short price. Hopefully, I only made the like I said, I only made the White Sox a short favorite. So
okay, then Noah, hit us with this on the White Sox at Colorado.
I'll keep it short and sweet. Kopech throws gas, so it's not really going to be affected by that Coors elevation. Whereas Herman Marquez has a 6.74 home ERA, so I'm going to take the White Sox here.
Okay, I've got nothing really on this one. I leaned overs, but I didn't know a number. But it's obviously going to be a little bit inflated. So did you say 11, Dylan, was your number?
Yeah.
So maybe, I'll leave that one. I've got no play at all. Okay, 10-10 Eastern. First pitch is say the word, Noah.
Ultimate pen.
Oh, what a jackass. It's the penultimate game between the Washington Nationals and the LA Dodgers.
Can't have anything nice.
You can't have anything nice, can you? We try to some self-improvement here, correct use of the Queen's English, and you just get silliness off Noah. Jojo Gray is going for the Washington Nationals, and Mitch White goes for the LA Dodgers. The lines are Washington plus 212. Ladbrokes are minus Ladbrokes. It's a betting shop. Fucking, I got gambling on the brain. Somehow not said. I've nearly said Ladbrokes 1,000 times over the last 3 months because it's just lads, and everyone talks about laddies. If you're going to laddies, you've been to laddies. What price are they at laddies? And I say it all the time, and I have to correct myself. And I can't believe that's only the first time I've said it. The LA Dodgers are minus 250. Total here is set at 8.5. And this game is coming back to you, Noah.
Do your Hispanic buddies that you play with on the Nighthawks call them the Doyers?
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Just call them the Doyers.
Yeah, that'll get away from the Ladbrokes thing. Yeah, they do. Yeah, there's a load of Dominicans do, and that's their thing. Yeah,
they love it. I mean, his name is Josiah Gray. The podcast has kind of adopted him and changed his name to JoJo.
It's not the Nationals.
The radio guy says it.
The announcer call him JoJo. It's good enough for me. It's my pet.
I'm not sure if we can legally say his name is JoJo until he pulls a D. Gordon and changes his last name to Strange. So, Josiah Gray. Dylan gives himself a smack on the head. That was loud. That was right into the microphone. 7-6 on the year for Gray. 4.40 ERA. 106 strikeouts, 39 walks, and 92 innings pitched. He has a 2.15 road ERA. This is a revenge game from him because he was a former Los Angeles Dodgers prospect. Dodgers, they're throwing Mitch White, who's 1-2 with a 3.78 ERA, 43 strikeouts, 19 walks, and 50 innings pitched. He has a 0.64 ERA in his last 3 home starts. It's wild, but I'll take a shot on the Nationals with this disrespectful plus price on JoJo Gray, our beloved right-handed pitcher. Also, I like the under in this game, too.
Okay. I tried to pick Josiah Gray and the Nationals last night on the show, but they called an audible and trotted out Paulo Espino for the game tonight. So count me in with you. I'm all in again, Noah. We will go with Josiah Gray. He's got a 2.14 ERA in his last 5 games. Is this accurate? No, he hasn't. He's got a 2.14 road ERA.
Yeah, I had 2.15, but 2.14, 2.15.
Yeah, 5-0 with a 2.14 ERA, and that's a much larger sample size. That's 46. It's exactly 50% of his innings pitched. Actually, it's 46 1/3 innings pitched. That plays for me. It is a disrespectful price. It's gigantic. Let's fill our boots, Dylan. Dylan's got his hands on his head. Well, and we've finally dragged Dylan down to the level we've dragged Moonaf out. We've exasperated another one.
Go.
2 for 2.
Man. No official play. I do agree that
that's because we're right though.
Yep.
I don't know. I do lean the Dodgers run line. I'm not gonna lie. They're on fire right now. The Nationals, they finally won a game yesterday to snap their losing streak, but I think that's even more of a reason to fade them. The Dodgers, they've won 8 in a row. 7 of those 8 have come by 2 or more runs. JoJo, he is a good pitcher. I do think the price is a little disrespectful. I only made the Dodgers a minus 210 favorite. So it's literally right at my price. I just can't get behind the backing the Nationals. So I'm not going to have action on this play, but for this show, I'll take the Dodgers run line against you guys.
The Dodgers are 5-0 against the spread in the last 5 home games, which doesn't put me in no off, though. We do not care. Right, the ultimate game on the card here, Noah, is a 10-10 Eastern first pitch between the Texas Rangers and the Seattle Mariners. Dane Dunning goes for Texas, and George Kirby goes for Seattle. Seattle are minus 154. Texas are plus 133 on the road. Total here is set at 8. Dane Dunning is 1-6, has a 4.42 ERA. Has pitched 95 2/3 with 84 strikeouts. George Kirby is 2-3, 3.78 ERA. Has pitched 64 1/3 with 62 strikeouts. Dunning is struggling. 5.55 ERA in his last 5. He started 2 games against Seattle this season. He's given up 5 earned runs in 11 innings pitched in those 2. Kirby hasn't been seen since the 8th of July. He's been inconsistent. He actually gave up only 2 earned runs in his last start, but 10 hits. So he kind of got away with it. He's got a 7 earned run effort against Baltimore to his name relatively recently as well. The safest play for me, I saw it's over 7.5 earlier on, which I couldn't believe. I wrote that down with lots of question marks. As it happened, it's moved to 8, but I would expect that to have gone 8.5, 9. I'm interested to see Dylan's number in a moment, but I thought this was a stonewall over. Texas actually scored a few runs last night at Oakland, albeit in Seattle.
It's just the bullpen is terrible.
Again, which plays into our hands. So I'm absolutely delighted. I don't think that 7.5 will be found anywhere now, but I'm happy to take the 8 as well. Dylan, what was your line and what was your handicap?
Yeah, so I made my total 7.7. And I'm actually seeing 8.5s out right now. So I lean under here, but my official play, another chalky one, but I do like the Mariners here at home. I was able to grab them at -145. They're up to a -150, but I like George Kirby coming back to this rotation. He's already faced the Rangers twice, and he had a really strong outing his last one. He went 6 innings, only gave up 2 runs, didn't walk a single batter, while Dane Dunning has lost twice to the Mariners this year. Actually, the Rangers have lost 10 straight games Dane Dunning has started. The last time they won when he started was May 18th against the Angels. So I'm going to fade Dane Dunning and I'm going to fade the Rangers. So give me the Mariners here.
I'll tell you why Kirby didn't walk a batter, because they all hit him. That's why. He gave up 10 hits. Didn't have to walk anybody.
Seattle
Seattle are actually 18-3 straight up at home against Texas in the last 21 games. So a lot of things pointing in that direction, Dylan. You're spot on. Noah, you were giving Dylan the double thumbs down there. So what did you make of this game?
Yeah, I won't repeat any of the stats for the Mariners. I think that's a classic 1.5 unit play on a -150 line. But I'm going to be like Dylan here. I set my first 5 total at 9. Dane Dunning doesn't go very deep into these games. 5.66 road ERA. George Kirby, he can go 6 or 7 innings, 4.61 ERA. I think there's going to be runs like galore in this game. I went with Malcolm as well. I think this is one of my favorite locks of the day.
Wait, you said your first 5 over was at 9?
I'm just joking. Dunning has a 5.66 road ERA and Kirby has a 4.61 home ERA, so it's not good. And that easily could be set at 10. I was just joking that it could be 9.
Me and Malcolm looked at each other like, "Whoa!"
No, he said it so confidently though that he was. Yeah, you could have convinced me.
Yeah.
I mean, I love it. I hope I convinced you. First 5, full game. I like the overs, and I like Seattle even more.
Lock and dog picks to come momentarily. I am going to tell you briefly about Dave. Dave will help you out if you found yourself in a situation where you need a few extra quid to get by, whether you need to put a little bit of petrol or gas in your tank, or you've got to save the date, or you might have a gift to buy, a little birthday coming up, something like that. Dave can help you out if you are living paycheck to paycheck. If you need to borrow a little cash, you can with Dave, which is the banking app that can help you get up to $500 instantly. More money to fill your tank. Buy that gift. You can finally tackle those extra expenses you've been stressing out without any hang-ups. No interest, no credit check needed. Millions of people have already downloaded the Dave app to get the financial relief they need with extra cash. So download the Dave app from the App Store right now. That's DAVE. Sign up for an extra cash account and get up to $500 instantly. For T's and C's, go to dave.com/legal. Instant transfer fees apply. Banking provided by Evolve, and it is a member of the FDIC. Future you will thank you. Okay. Future us is going to thank us for these winning picks that we're going to give out now. Lock and dog time. And we're going to go to the man who's beautifully rocked that Paris Saint-Germain shirt, Dylan. I haven't podded with you for a few days, so give us some winners.
Appreciate the compliment, Malcolm. For my lock, I'm going to go to the Subway Series. I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to take my Mets. I think they have the pitching advantage with Taijuan Walker. It's bragging rights. We're the best team in New York. We gotta make a stand here. So I'm gonna take my Mets on the money line as my lock. As my dog, I mentioned it earlier. I'm gonna take the Phillies. I actually made them a favorite in this matchup with Spencer Strider and the Braves. I think I'm going to fade him and back Aaron Nola, who has been really good this far, and he has a good success against the Braves this year. 2-0 with a 2.93 ERA. I think the Phillies bounce back here at home. So give me the Phillies at that dog price, 120.
I absolutely love both of those picks. They were both on my board as well, Dylan, whether you're pleased to hear that or not, I don't know. Noah, lock and dog for you?
We're going to go two riskier routes. My lock for the day is going to be the over 8 -115 in Texas, Seattle. I think that was one of my most competent plays. I actually like Seattle in the game more, but it's -150, and I'm not going to give that out as the lock in the game. I just don't see how this thing goes under, and I love every over in the game. And then it's just my mantra. I'm taking the Cardinals plus 182 right now is what I see. And I'm putting a half unit on this game, putting a half unit on tomorrow's game. I don't know if they're going to steal one, but it's a great way to make some money. Yeah,
you stick to your guns, mate. It worked out for you beautifully last time for KC in Toronto. So yeah, absolutely, why not? You've caused me an issue here, Noah, because my lock is that over 8 in the Texas and Seattle game. But I'm absolutely sold on it. Even Dylan and his sensible handicap couldn't put me off. I just think it's I like this more than anything else on the board by quite a long way. So, I'm going to stick with it. We go with a double lock, and I'll take that over Texas v Seattle. Like you said, just runs everywhere. Runs galore. For my dog, then, if you're not going to take them, Noah, then I have been left with no choice but to take the Washington Nationals at plus 210. Behind our guy, Jojo Gray. He's going to turn over Mitch White and the LA Dodgers because why not? So I'll take that.
Dylan absolutely hated this podcast. I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. It was great. The train
Don't go running off and tell Munaf what we've done, Dylan, because we'll know it was you that grassed us up.
God.
The train completely derailed in the podcast, and I loved it.
You didn't see it, Malcolm, but as soon as you said double lock, he figured this out.
Got the signal. No. He's thrown the double lock signal up. Fantastic. Thank you very much, gents. That was a lot of fun. I very much enjoyed that. Hopefully we found some winners. It was a fun looking slate. Dylan, what's happening with you tonight, the rest of the week? Anything fun? Obviously the Mets, looking forward to. Tell me just give me a little 30-second. What's game day like? Because I've never been, obviously, to an MLB game. What does game day look like for you? Do you get food, beers? What happens?
So usually if I don't have work today, I have to go to work though on Wednesday. So usually if I don't have work, I take the train in. I take a couple of trains in from Jersey to Manhattan, then Manhattan to Queens. It's a whole process because everyone's taking the train. You start drinking on the train. It's the experience. Nice. Exactly. So yeah, we get hammered, act belligerent, and you know, New York, you know how New Yorkers are. They're a different type of breed. So we try to enjoy it, and we try to get so messed up we don't buy drinks inside, but that never really happens. So it's a good day, but for tomorrow I do have to work, and then hopefully I miss all the traffic. So it's going to be a good one.
Excellent use of the word belligerent there. We enjoyed that. You sounded like Billy Bean there with the it's a process. It's a process. It's a process.
It is a process.
It is a process. And Noah, what are you up to?
So Monday the 25th, it's actually my dog's 11th birthday. So I'm going to take him to the park. There's a couple of fountains that he likes to run through and just kind of like bite the water and stuff.
Love it.
It's hilarious to get him on video doing that. But Tuesday, I'd rather do the podcast with you guys. I have way more fun than than going to the ballpark and be pissed off at my own team and wanting to fire my general manager before the trade deadline. So that would be what I'd do if I don't record Tuesday's podcast.
Okay, cool. I've got nothing for him. I've got a Tuesday night wedding to work at tomorrow night. Actually, I got this casino out at a wedding. I think we're still catching up with all the COVID weddings that got cancelled. We had sort of 2 years of cancelled weddings. So yeah, I've been filling my boots with sort of midweek weddings.
Wow, those newlyweds last 2 years.
Yeah, I know, it's amazing, isn't it? If only
How long you been married, Malcolm?
Oh, that is an excellent question.
Oh, don't let the wife see this.
Put me on the spot. Blindside me with shit like between 7 and 15 years, somewhere in that range. Definitely in that sweet spot.
Good job, Mel.
You went on the pod the other night. We thought she might have left me live on air the other night, Dylan. She disappeared off in the car, but she did return. Unfortunately,
she brought the kids chocolate bars.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, one of those things. Right, that was fun, gentlemen. Thanks everyone for listening.
When's not fun?
Yeah, exactly. Usual place to get all your sports gambling podcast network information. Download the app, get in the Discord, have a look at the website, and listen to all the podcasts. Dead easy. Until then,
delusional. Take the Yankees today.
Oh, don't do that. Thanks everyone for listening. We will be back tomorrow. Some combination of the boys. Good luck with your bets. Until then, we'll see you down the road. Cheers.